Thanks for joining us today. As you know, on May 1st, we kicked off this year's mentorship program for Black staff. And if you did miss the opening ceremony, the recording is available on each of our intranet pages, and you can view it there as well. I'm going to ask Charmaine to get us started with the land acknowledgement.
Thank you,
Charmaine, over to you.
Delini. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to get started with the land acknowledgement. We acknowledge the land we are meeting on today is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. Thank you, and I'll pass it back to Delini.
Thank you, Charmaine, for getting us started on a good way. So as I mentioned, today we have Brian Anderson from MentorCity, and he will provide us with an overview and demonstration of the platform. Following that, you will also have an opportunity to ask any questions and clarify any doubts on the platform specifically using Brian's expertise. But before we do that, I'm going to pass it on to Simone to lead us with the African ancestral acknowledgement. Simone, over to you.
Awesome. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being with us today. The City of Toronto acknowledges all treaty peoples, including those who came here as settlers, as migrants, either in this generation or in generations past, and those of us who came here involuntarily, particularly those brought to these lands as a result of the transatlantic slave trade and slavery. We pay tribute to those ancestors of African origin and descent. And with that, I'll pass it back over to you, Delini. Thank you.
Thank you, Simone. Okay, so hopefully Brian is able to get his technical issues resolved now. In the meantime, before I pass it to Brian to start the demonstration of MentorCity, I just want to give some reminders regarding the 2025 mentorship program, and then we can get on with the demonstration. So, yeah, so we had overwhelming interest in this year's mentorship program, so thank you very much for that. I just want to let you know that registration will close momentarily for mentees to express interest. However, we are still looking for participants, people leaders to join as mentors, both Black staff and allies to join this year's program. And as we mentioned, enrollment is on a first come, first serve basis. So as a mentee, if we are not able to accommodate you due to space limitations this year, we will still keep you on a wait list until the end of June, should a space open up. And once you're accepted into the program, you will receive a confirmation and a link to MentorCity from the TS3 General Manager's Office, Test Organization Development, or TPH People Services team by around May 20th. If you are a returning participant, you will already have your MentorCity profile set up. So you'll only need to update your profile with any new skills, goals, anything like that. But new users, once they log in, they will need to set up their profile when they first log in. And we recommend that you use your City of Toronto email address only. And this should also be the one that you used in the registration survey as well. And a reminder, when setting up your account, we encourage you to complete your profile 100%. That way, by selecting any specialized skills, development areas, anything like that, that way you can obtain the best match in terms of a mentor. And for mentors, you will need to specify how many mentees you're willing to accept. That is, whether you're willing to accept one or up to 2 mentees, depending on your capacity. Also, familiarize yourself with the platform before formal matching begins. That way you're ready to send out that invite to a mentor of your liking when formal matching begins. So this year, as we mentioned in the opening ceremony, from May 20th to June 3rd, there will be a pre-matching period where you have the opportunity to explore mentor profiles and connect informally with potential mentors on the platform to determine if there is a possible fit before any formal relationships are established. However, during this period, you will not be able to send or initiate an invite to get matched. From June 4th onwards, you will be able to start sending invitations to mentors that best align with your skills and your career goals. And relationships can begin once a mentor accepts an invitation. You don't need any kind of formal start from us. Once the invitation has been accepted, you're ready to start your mentoring relationship. And we encourage mentees to start the matching process early so that you can establish relationships with a mentor of your liking. For mentees, you can only send invitations to one mentor at a time and can be matched with up to one mentor. And when you're matching, we do encourage cross-divisional collaboration. So TS3 staff, you can invite to connect with staff from TEST and or TPH and vice versa. And that's the benefit of this cross-divisional mentorship program. As I mentioned earlier, mentors can accept up to 2 invitations to match up with 2 mentees. And if once you receive the request from a mentee, you're kindly reminded to accept the request or decline with the reason so that mentees can look for another mentor if that particular relationship doesn't work. And in the event that you have any difficulties connecting with a mentee or mentor, please connect with your program lead for the respective division so that we can assist you. And also, if by any chance you don't get matched, we may utilize the speed match feature on MentorCity later on to assist with getting matched as well. Okay, so those are the reminders I did want to mention in terms of the program. We can get started with the demonstration from MentorCity now. Hopefully, Brian's technical issues are resolved. Brian, are you here? Brian, can you hear us? He's logged back out again, so we'll give him a few minutes. In the meantime, if anyone has any questions, feel free to put it in the Q&A and we can take it in.
There's a
Yes,
question of
yes,
whether this
sorry,
is being
Charmaine.
recorded. Yeah, this will be recorded and shared on the spot page.
Brian, I see that you're here. You're one of the presenters. Do you hear us? Are you able to speak? Okay, so he has his camera on. Okay. Brian, are you able to unmute yourself? Um, do you have the option to call in using the link that was provided? You try that.
Delaney, I think you're still sharing your screen.
Oh, sorry. Thanks for. Okay, so while Brian still tries to call in.
Thank you all for your patience as we navigate through some technical difficulties.
So I believe we have some questions in the chat that we can answer.
Delaney, in the meantime, are you able to add Christopher as a co-organizer, please?
Yes, let me
Thank
do
you.
that. Yes, so if someone already has a profile on MentorCity, it will be active once we enroll you into this year's program, and you will receive a confirmation both from MentorCity as well as one of the program leads for your respective division. You'll only need to update that profile that you already have. It's only for new accounts that you will need to put in all the information into the profile.
Brian, can you hear us?
Me?
Yes,
Yes,
perfect.
yes.
Awesome.
I can.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Correct.
Excellent. I sound okay? Do I need to reposition my phone?
No, we can hear you fine.
Excellent. Perfect. Okay. So let's get started. Let's see if I can share now. Share window. The
You are a
volume's
bit
low.
low. Sorry, Brian. You are a bit low. If you can bring it up a
Let me
bit.
reposition my phone here. 1 second.
Thank you.
Is that any better?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can.
You can? Okay, perfect. Excellent. Okay, so as Delaney said, when you first get if you are a returning member and you're not a new member, when you first log in, you'll be brought right to the dashboard, which is what you're seeing right now. If you are a new member and have not been in the program before, it's going to take you right over to your profile, which is here. Okay. So in your profile, please make sure you have as much information detailed in there as you can. This will help kind of get the best match and the best kind of possible relationship for yourself. So some things to look out for is the division. You want to make sure that the division is correct, job type, your position, all that. And then you want to make sure your competencies are correct as well. So your job history and your competencies are correct as well. The competencies are the kind of the background layer of the matching. It helps to make sure you're getting the best match possible. Now, these competencies are not going to be shown to your managers or anything like that. This is only for yourself. Only you are going to have access to this. No one else will see what you've put on here. This is a self-evaluation for yourself. Be honest with it. It's only going to get you the best match possible. And again, no one else can see this. This is confidential information. So don't worry about who's going to be seeing it. And when you're done that, you can click on the Save and Find Mentor Mentee, and you can start looking for somebody. Now, there's going to be a period of time when you're searching for somebody, but you're not actually inviting anybody to be your match. this is we call this kind of like the dating period. So this is the period of time where you could start talking to everybody. You could start sending conversations back and forth and getting to know certain people. And to demo this, I'm just going to make myself a mentor. And during this time, you'd be able to click on, if I'm a mentee in the platform, then I would see mentors here. But since I'm a mentor, I'm seeing mentees. So I can click on here, and I'll be able to see a list of all the mentees the mentors that are available. Of course, there's none right now because there's no one in the system. Let's change myself back to a mentee. And let me just go into here for a second. And go to mentors, and I'll be able to see all of the mentors that are available. So I can click on somebody, let's say Danielle here. I can click on Danielle, and I could start a conversation with her. So I can click on send an introduction, and I can it will open up the message hub, and I could start sending her a message. So hi Danielle, looking forward to meeting you. Okay. And now we can have an unlimited amount of conversations back and forth. We can talk to each other. We can even, if both of us click on this button at the same time, then we'll actually be able to we'll be able to open up a like a video conversation, and we'll be able to talk that way as well. Now, once the matching is opened up, I'm just going to stop sharing for a quick second. Once the matching is opened up and you can start sending out invites, I'll show you what that looks like as well. So kind of the same process. Okay. So once I've spoken back and forth to a couple of people and I know who I want to match with and the invitations are opened up, I'll be able to then click on, let's go use Danielle as an example again. I can click on her again, and you'll see that there's now an invitation instead of the ability to send them a message. So I could say something like, I could just click on send invitation, it will send exactly this, or I can customize this message to kind of fit what I want to talk about or what made me interested in them. And I can just go send invitation. Now, Danielle will get a message saying that I've invited her, and she can either accept or decline that message. If she accepts that message, then I get a message back saying that it's been accepted and we're good to start having the meetings. If it's rejected, I will get another message as well, and I'll be able to go find the next person I want to work with. There's also this withdraw this request. So if I don't actually get a response from her within about 2 or 3 days, I can go in and I can just click on withdraw this request. That pulls back the invitation, and I'll be able to then invite somebody else. Okay. So I can just click on that, and it will take back that invite. Now, once I'm actually matched with somebody, you'll actually see that there is an end a relationship button here. There's the mentoring agreement where the mentor and the mentee can kind of talk amongst themselves to kind of answer certain questions, such as like meeting formats, availability. This is a conversation between the mentor and the mentee. I would suggest the mentees are the ones that kind of facilitate this discussion, it should be the first meeting that happens within MentorCity. Okay. I can also send a message to my connection by clicking on here, and I can type in something, start arranging a meeting between ourselves. Or I can schedule a meeting by clicking on here. So I click on new, find a time and date that works for both of us. Let's say the 21st, and I could say the 21st at 12. I can click on send invite. And now a copy of that goes to her, a copy of that goes to me, and she can accept or decline that meeting as well. I can also reschedule that meeting. She can reschedule that meeting. It works like any other calendaring platform out there. You'll notice that when I booked a meeting, the number of meetings went up by 1, and the meeting hours went up by 30 minutes. If you book everything through MentorCity, you'll never have to worry about these numbers. They'll always be always be up to date. However, if you do have a meeting that's booked outside the platform, or you have a meeting that never actually got invited, it just kind of happened, you can also update this by clicking on the plus sign and adding an hour to it. Okay. We do have goals here as well. So if I click on goals, I can give a goal. So let's say give a presentation. Now, as the mentee, I can put in goals for myself. The mentor can put goals in for me. So there's no relationship goals where the mentor has a goal. It's always focused on the mentee that has the goal. Now that I've put a goal in, my mentor will see that I have a goal. And when that goal is completed, I can just click check it off. And my mentor knows that I've completed that goal, and the administrators also know that I've completed that goal. We also have an app, so feel free to download the Google app or the Apple app. You can do the entire program right through the app if you want. You can do those initial conversations. You can send invites, meeting invites, take calls right through your phone. So feel free to use that as well. Also on the dashboard, we do have this little button here.
Sorry, Brian, sometimes the screen is a little blurry. Just like, for example, right now it's a little blurry. So maybe if you can make it a little clear, that might help our participants here.
Sure. So on the dashboard here, right at the corner of the screen, there is a question box, a circle with a question mark. I can click on that, and it'll say need assistance. Please send us a message. I can type something in here, click on send feedback, and a copy of that goes to MentorCity, and a copy of that goes to your administrative team. We'll be able to contact you via email, usually pretty quickly, but please use this if you're running into any technical issues or have questions about usability of the platform. Okay. Should we go over the questions now, or should we wait until the end?
Do you have other things to cover? The screen is still blurry, so maybe go over what you just said, because I don't think attendees saw the question mark here.
Okay. So the question mark is on the dashboard up here. Okay. How does the screen look okay now?
It's still very blurry, actually. It's better sometimes.
Okay. Let me stop sharing and reshare.
Yes. And while Ryan does that, I do want to mention that the intranet page, there is a recording of the overview from a previous session that we recorded that you can watch as well. If, for instance, the screen is blurry and you don't get as much information sometimes.
Okay, so up in the dashboard here, okay, there is the question mark down at the lower right-hand side of the screen. If you click on that, it says need assistance, please send us a message. Okay. In here, you can just type in whatever you want. In this box here, you can type in whatever you want, and then click on send feedback. That is where you can send a message to either to MentorCity or your administrative team. It goes to both. So if you're running into any technical issues or usability with the platform for whatever reason, you can use this to send a message over.
Okay, the screen is much clearer now.
Yeah, is it? Okay, perfect. Okay, I saw a couple of questions flash by. Should we get into those questions?
Sure, yeah, we can navigate those
excellent.
as we go. Yes.
Okay.
So one of the questions was how do we get to MentorCity? I can help answer that, and Brian can add in. So this year, because our registration is through our survey, you will receive a link to MentorCity, and you will receive a link, an email from MentorCity once you are enrolled in the program and you're imported into the platform, and that will be the link you will use when you first log in. And Brian, you can help us with logging in subsequently.
Yeah, absolutely. So the login to get into the platform is going to be in every single email that you receive from MentorCity. At the bottom, it says like to log in, click here, but it's just app.mentorcity.com, and you'll see the username and password login page. So that's the best way to log in. Also, you can use the app. I did see a question flash by asking what the app was called in the Google Play Store. Just look for MentorCity, and you'll see it. It's our logo is yellow with it's two people shaking hands that looks like an M.
And Brian, maybe you can also mention the fact that they will get their temporary password and how they have to reset it and all that when they first log in.
Yeah. So when you get that email, there'll be a temporary password that is that's in that email. You can use your email address and that temporary password to log in for the first time. When you do so, the system will force you to change your password to something else before it lets you into the system. And the new password is what you would use to log in moving forward.
And what about returning users when they get that email? Can they still use their same password from what they used previously, or do they have to reset it as well? How does that work?
No, for returning members, you can use your regular password, like the password that you used previously. If you don't remember that, the best thing to do is just use your forgot password button that is at the bottom or below the login page.
So I just want to add to that. So all the previous users, so those who had a profile on MentorCity, are currently deactivated as we finalize our registration. But once we finalize the registration and we activate reactivate your accounts on MentorCity, you should be able to use your, the same password that you used previously to log into MentorCity. There is another question pertaining to the visibility of profiles. So can all mentors and mentees see your profile? Or if you're a mentee, can only mentors see your profile?
Yes. So only mentors searching for a mentee will be able to see you if you are a mentee. You're not going to be able to see other mentees, and mentors aren't going to be able to see other mentors. I do see a question. Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I do see a question that says, am I reading right that my profile previously set up in MentorCity is still active and only needs updating if I want to change it? Yes. So if you are in previously, everything in your profile should be intact, but it's good to take a look at it quickly anyway. There could be some changes to that profile that you need to update. So just take a quick look at your profile anyway. See if there's anything that you might want to change before you start matching with somebody.
There is a program-related question for the number of mentees that we are accepting into this year's program. So as I mentioned in the beginning, because we have space limitations, if we are not able to accommodate you to this year's program when we start matching, we will still keep you on a wait list until about the end of June, and we will notify you should a space open up.
I do see if you reach your maximum number of mentees you're accepting, then are you then removed from the mentors available? Yes, but that is only in the matching phase itself, not that conversation dating phase. So that conversation dating phase, you can message as many people as you want, and you can get as many messages as you can. It's only once you start matching and getting those invites, then the max number of mentees takes into effect. So if you are only have a max number of one, once you get one invite, then you're removed from the list. Same thing with mentees. So if you have one, if you're a mentee and you say you can only have one mentor, once you have sent out one invite, then you cannot send out another invite. That's why it's important to make sure that you're getting a response and withdrawing that invite if you're waiting too long for a response.
And I see another question, the Q&A. New mentee can't access MentorCity until we receive the email indicating we have been registered. Yes, that is correct. So when you receive that email from MentorCity, followed by an email from either the TS3 General Manager's Office, Test Organization Development, or TPH People Services teams, that means you are enrolled in the program and you will have access to the MentorCity platform. So with regards to the enrollment, we have not reached out to registrants yet. You will receive a notification by May 20th when we finalize registration. Mentors, we encourage all mentors, so both Black staff with lived experience as well as allies, to join us as mentors. Brian, while we wait for other questions, do you have other things on the platform that want to show our attendees today?
We can go over the profile, the meeting availability. So if you want to utilize the platform to do all your meetings, you can use the meeting availability section. So if I click on edit, this is really telling the system when I'm available to meet and when I'm not available to meet. So I could say like Sunday and Saturday, I'm not available. And I'm only available 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Okay? That will prevent people from being able to book a meeting with me at, let's say, 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock on a Sunday. They won't be able to book a meeting with me through the system during a time where I say I'm unavailable. You can even sync your calendar. So I can click on sync calendar and I can sync my Outlook calendar and my Google calendar. And I can also put my phone number in here. Now, this phone number, again, can't be seen by anybody. It's just strictly for the system. And what this does is it will send you a text message 1 hour before a meeting's supposed to start, just as another reminder that you do have one coming up. The system will also send you an email an hour before a meeting's supposed to come up. And if you have a meeting booked, you can add that meeting to your Outlook calendar or Google calendar, and it will also remind you that you have a meeting coming up. There's that. We do have courses as well. There's some recommended learning that you can kind of go through. Resources, take a look at the resources. Down here, we have MentorCity resources that are really good for if you're stuck in a relationship or don't really know what to do in a relationship. You can click on one of these. We have some mentor tips, some mentee tips, some quizzes that you can kind of do with your mentor or kind of talk to your mentor about, and this will kind of get a feel for how you're doing in the relationship, or if there's if you're not making the most out of your relationship. We also have these mentoring conversations. These are really good, usually inspirational tales of mentoring or some examples of how mentoring has helped various people and how they've got the most out of it.
Ryan, maybe you can also show how to find mentors. I believe the screen was a little blurry, so maybe you can re-show that. That will be
Show that
important.
portion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hopefully the
So,
screen
if
is
I-
clearer.
Okay, so I'm a mentee in this system, and I can see that by this says mentors here. Now,
So,
mentors.
Brian, sorry, the
Yep.
screen is a little blurred.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what's going on because it's not telling me that there's a connection issue or anything.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, let me stop sharing and reshare. Okay, how's that?
It's a little better, but it's still, yeah, that's better. It's much better.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So during the invitations stage, mentors are not going to be able to search for mentees. Only mentees can search for mentors. So under mentors, I can click on mentors, and this is, let me just withdraw this request. So under mentors, I can click on this little hourglass icon, and I can start kind of searching for who I want to search for. So let's say I was talking to somebody and I know who I want to match with. I could just type in their name here, and that person will come up. Or I can search for like certain skills if I want to look for certain skills. Or if I want to search just for a certain division, I can do that here as well. Okay. So now, so when I found the person that I want to work with, I can just click on their name. And again, I can see their full profile. And down here, I can start sending them an invite. So I can just click on send invitation and it will send exactly this. Or I can customize this message to kind of customize it to what I want to talk to them about or why I'm choosing them, something from their profile or something that they've said while we were talking that really stood out to me. I can include that in my invite too. And then just click on send invitation. And now you're waiting. It will take you to this screen here where you can send you can withdraw that request if you haven't heard from them in a couple of days. You can also continue that conversation by clicking on this button here. And I can then type in, I sent you an invite, looking forward to connecting, or something along those lines. Thanks. But yeah, you don't wait more than I would say 3 days. If you don't hear back from them by then, withdraw that invite, find somebody else.
And I also suggest that if you haven't heard from your mentor, you can reach out to your program lead, and we can also, do a little nudge with your mentor and help you with accepting that invitation. A quick question I wanted to ask around this is how the profile completion rate impacts in terms of finding mentors and things like that. Is it important to have the profile completed 100%? What if they haven't necessarily filled in all the information?
It's recommended that you have a 100% profile completion, of course, but really all you need to match up with somebody is just making sure. And really these mandatory profile fields here, okay, and then save and go to employment section. That's really all you need in the profile. Now, as a mentor, if you don't have any of that filled out, the chances of you getting picked are going to be very slim. You're going to show up in the listing, but you're going to be at the bottom of the list, right? So the more profile, the more of the profile you have filled out, the higher up in the list you go. Same with mentees. During that dating period, you're going to be at the bottom of the list for the mentors. So again, it just takes a couple minutes to fill out the profile, and you can kind of do it in steps too. You don't have to do it all in one shot. You can fill out, at first just the mandatory fields, and then come back the next day with a clear mindset and really, fill out the rest of your profile.
Thank you, Brian. I also want to mention that as a mentee, if you haven't necessarily filled out your profile and your mentor is, checking out your profile before they accept the invite, they're probably going to be reluctant to do that if they don't find any information on your profile, right? So we recommend you fill all of the information on there to give like a full, wholesome picture to your mentor. And Brian, there is a question on logging in. How do we log in through the app?
So, like, if it's the Apple or Google app, when you download that app and you open up that app, it will take you right into the login page. So first name, it will ask you for your email address and password. Just use the same email and password that you would use to log in through the site, and it will take you right into the platform.
There are some questions regarding the frequency of meetings. So Brian did show the mentoring agreement that we recommend you fill out during your first meeting. The recommended meeting frequency is at least one meeting per month. But there's no mandated strict standard. It's a recommendation, and it's something that you have to decide between your mentor and your mentee. Similarly, the meeting channel, whether it's virtual, in person, or at the offsite, that is something that has to be decided through a discussion or meeting between your mentor or mentee, whatever works for both parties. If you have any other last minute questions, do pop them in the chat or the Q&A. There's a question on guitars for you, Brian.
What kind of guitars do you have?
I have these two are both Fenders, so very Fender Squires. And this one, this is kind of like a no-named $50 guitar, and this one is actually a custom-built one for me from a friend of mine before he left the country. So this is the only, like, I would say, like, mid-line expensive one. The other ones, they're $50 a piece. They're not expensive. Thank you though, Peter.
Thanks for asking that question. It was good for a laugh. We were all very serious about the MentorCity platform. And as we mentioned earlier, this session is recorded and it will be posted on the intranet page. As well, there is a recording of our previous session that is on our intranet page as well, and the link was shared in the chat that you can watch. There are other resources available on MentorCity's YouTube channel, which we have included in the MentorCity, Mentorship Handbook. It's one of the resources that is available to participants of this program, and that is available on the intranet page down below under resources as well, along with many other resources. Okay, so it doesn't look like we have any other questions. I just want to mention again that we are still looking for mentors for the program so that we can have a wide range of mentors for our mentees to choose from. This year, we have a total of 300 spots in the program, which is about 100 participants per division between TS3, TES, and TPH. And as we mentioned earlier, you will receive a confirmation along with a link to MentorCity by May 20th. And from May 20th to June 3rd, you will have the opportunity to explore potential mentors on MentorCity. So browse through, as Brian mentioned, kind of like dating, looking around to see, what who might work for you this year in terms of your career goals and skill set. And just have, about 3 mentors shortlisted. That way, when the formal matching period begins from June 4th onwards, you'll be ready to go to send that invite out and get matched and start your mentoring relationships right away. On June 18th, we will have an orientation session, which you will receive the link to shortly as well. So we encourage you to join the orientation session for both mentors and mentees to learn from our previous mentees and mentors, get tips on how to make the most out of this year's program. Okay, so since we don't have any other questions, I believe we can call it a day. Thank you so much, Brian, for joining us today and showing us MentorCity and how we can use that to make the most out of our program this year. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Have a good afternoon.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.